classics from the 70s and 80s artists we all grew up with. It's the Shakeman Show.
All right. Live coverage of the Motley Crue Kiss concert last week in Susquehanna. Was it at a kick-ass set, Ed?
Oh, yeah.
Crue was rocking that, man. We were just talking about how good Vince sounded, man. Vince sounded great. You know why? And I told Ed why. It's because he had a broken foot and wasn't able to run around like a maniac. Sebastian Bach used to do the same thing. Run around the stage like a freaking man. I do it to myself sometimes, too. And you get, once you're out of breath, you need to breathe to sing. And when you ain't got the full breath, you're like, you're trying to sing, notes, and Vince could never do that. So that's why he sounded so good this time. And just, the little things that the vocalists need to know about, but, Mm-hmm. But anyway, that is live coverage of Motley Crue from the Crue and Kiss concert. We're going to have coverage of Kiss coming up in a little bit from that concert. And also, we had a couple little interviews in between. We'll get to that in a little bit. Anyway, we're back here. Eddie O is in the studio. Ed Owens. And it's good to see you, Ed.
You too, man.
You having a good time? That's all it counts.
Yeah, it's always good to hang out with a buddy like you.
Oh, thank you, brother. You're going to make me cry. Anyway, as I was saying, I was talking to Ed about, let's kill the tunes there for a second. All right, there we go. Anyway, we're talking about, I know, like I said, your stuff. You know your metal. But the hardest thing, one of the hardest things, and you know what? It's hard for me too. So I'm going to just test you and see if you can even get close. I'm going to name some rock stars, real names, and you tell me if you can name who it is.
I'll give it a shot.
All right, and now I'm going to make it. I'm going to narrow it down for you. It's going to be strictly 80s rock bands. All right. I only have a few here.
Okay.
All right, a few here for you. All right, and this one I know is pretty obvious because a lot. I did this before on the show, and actually people came up with it pretty much right away. So I'm going to start with Frank Carlton Serafino. Think about it. I just want you to I think a deep thought. Don't answer something too quickly unless you don't know.
I don't know.
No clue?
No.
I mean, the name, the rock star name is not even close because sometimes what they do is they might take their first name and their middle name and they'll put it together, and that's how they come up with their rock star name. Like Vince Neil is pretty easy. It's Vince Neil Wharton. Mm-hmm. So all he pretty much did was take off his last name and he got Vince Neil. Mm-hmm. All right, so you don't have no clue who Frank Carlton Serafino is?
Nah, I can't think of it.
You want to take a guess?
No.
Damn, not even a guess? No?
No, I have no idea. I really don't.
Well, obviously it's an Italian guy. It's a dark-headed guy. He's an Italian guy. Mm-hmm. So does that narrow it down a little bit for you? There's only about 1,000 dark-headed guys in metal.
No.
No clue, huh?
No.
All right. Frank Carlton Serafino is Nikki Sixx.
I
I
didn't know that.
See that? All right, let's try another one. This one you might get. I don't know. It's because these names are believe me, some of them are close to what their real names, what their stage names are, and some of them are way off. Let's see if you know this one, man. You're a big fan, actually. So let me see if you know. Charles Frederick.
I don't know. I really don't look into what people's real names are. I really don't care.
I'm just taking. I know. You just pretty much care about what what their stage name is, right? So
yeah,
all right. Charles Frederick is Kip Winger.
I should have knew that.
How would you know it?
Because Kip Winger is one of my favorite guys.
I know, but
I guess
Charles?
I just don't pay attention to what their real names are. I really don't care, I guess.
Charles?
What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, come on. I would not even know that. Charles Frederick. And now I can see why they changed their names for the stage. Because lead singer of Winger, Charles Frederick. I can't see that happening.
Hey, fellas, y'all know me.
No, I don't know you by that name, pal. Anyway, all right, let's try this one. And this one, actually, I'll try to give you a little bit of a hint. This guy actually used his middle name as his first name. All right. I'm only going to give you his first and middle name because if I give you the last name, it actually gives away his stage last name.
Okay.
All right. Carl Thomas.
I don't know.
No, and it's not Carl Lewis. He's like the athlete. No. Carl. All right. His name is Carl Thomas.
I don't know.
Okay. I'm going to throw the last name in there. Then you'll know exactly who it is. All right. Carl Thomas Kiefer.
No.
Ah!
Not really.
What?
Not really.
Huh?
Not really.
Okay. All right, let's go for another one. Ed doesn't like this segment. He doesn't like this segment. Maybe I'll get something more fun for him. All right, let's try. We got a couple more, and then we'll get off the subject.
Well, Tom Kiefer basically did the same thing I did because Edward's my middle name.
Okay.
So I use Ed Owens.
Right.
So pretty much, the
So
same type of
as
deal.
that just announced tonight, Ed Owens is his stage name.
Yeah.
We will never know his true name.
I don't want people to find me and kill me for popping their eardrums and stuff.
That's his own man.
So we will not know. We will not know if what the official name of this guy sitting next to me is.
No.
All right, let's try another one. How about Donald Maynard?
Jeez Louise.
And he actually uses his first name, not Donald, but short for Donald.
I miss. It's probably somebody I really like.
It is.
Imagine it's probably like
It is.
Don Dokken or something.
Yeah! Give it up for Ed! Woo! Yeah! Eddie just got one. I knew you were going to at least get one.
Yeah, sure.
Whoa. I was really sweating it out here.
I know you are.
Yeah.
Shut up. All right. I'm going to give you two more, and then we'll get off this subject because Ed's like, get the hell away from this. This one you'll never get. Robert Allen Deal. Uh-huh.
I have no idea.
Weed? You smoke weed? You smoke weed?
You have no clue?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
So y'all want to smoke?
Okay, Robert Allen Deal is Mick Mars. Not even close.
Yeah, like where the heck did you come up with that?
Yeah, where do you actually even come up with that name, Mick Mars? No?
No.
Okay, we're going to try one more. One more, and then we'll get off this because Ed's getting a migraine from this. All right, Stephen Edward Doran. Not even close to his stage name at all. But I can tell you that his nickname on stage is you wear this color a lot in the metal world.
Blackie?
Yes, Blackie Lawless. Ah!
You who work on a dime bag? That must have been shitty. Wow, that must have been a shit.
Yeah. All right, we're done with that anyway. We're done with that. But anyway, we got Eddie O in the house. Ed Owens, lead singer of Loaded Gun. And we got some coverage of Loaded Gun live from Brewster's coming up a little bit later on our local shots. And we got a little bit more coverage of the Kiss Motley Crue show last week that we had a blast at. And we just got done our Motley Crue version of it. And we're going to be playing some of the Kiss coverage that we got there, and also I got a few little interviews going on there, so we'll get that coming up too. But anyway, let's get to something more. Let's go with name your top 5 favorite metal bands.
Top 5.
Top
Only
5?
5?
Yeah, I know you can go on, but I want you to narrow it down to 5. I know it's tough.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I'm just like cramming your head tonight, ain't I?
That's rough to even.
I know.
I guess I gotta say, Warrant.
It's a tough one.
Motley Crue.
Ed's looking at me like,
You're joking.
Let's see, Warrant, Motley Crue, Leatherwolf.
Leatherwolf.
Yeah, that's.
In the top 5.
You know what? I just they're with their guitars and the way they wrote their songs. I mean, I just really think they were one of those bands that really just underrated. That should have been a lot more famous than they were.
Yeah. You know what? I remember Leatherwolf. I had the first album, and I think they only put out like 2 or 3 albums. They had the first album, which was self-titled, and then Street Ready, which was a great album. I love that song, Street Ready.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Leatherwolf. Wow, I would expect Motley Crue and, Warrant, because I know how much you like them guys, but Leatherwolf in your top 5? That's pretty cool. That's like an oddball one I would not expect.
Yeah, that's one of the bands a lot of people don't know about. But,
oh yeah,
I really like them. They're good sound.
They are cool.
So if you haven't ever listened to them, you got to check them out.
Oh yeah, you definitely got to check out Leatherwolf.
Let me see. Trying to pick a couple more here.
How many we got so far?
3.
We got 3 so far, so you need 2 more.
Damn.
Come
this
on.
Is rough, man.
I'm laying you on the spot tonight, ain't I?
Yeah.
First I'm giving you damn names, and now like, see what I'm doing to Ed tonight? Ed's supposed to be having fun with me, not sitting here thinking.
I guess I'll say Cinderella since I'm looking at a poster of them right now.
I know. I gotta look dead center to Cinderella and Poison every week when I'm sitting in this chair, and also 4 chicks to the left that are holding their breasts. I don't know where that comes in the picture, but I'm just telling you what's on the wall.
And I guess I'll say Skid Row to round it out.
All right, Skid Row. I really put you on the spot there, didn't I?
Well, 5 is. I mean, I love so many bands. It's hard to fit them in. 5.
I know. Well, you narrow them down. And like I said, what I usually do is I separate my bands into categories. Like I have my favorite classic rock bands. Like my favorite band of all time is The Who and Journey. They're like my favorite, like classic rock bands. But when it comes to metal, my favorite bands are Maiden and Priest, and they're the great bands that I really grew up with, and Dokken, who I love to death. I love Dokken, and who else were we talking about? They're like in my, but I love so many of them. You're right. There's so many of them that I can name over and over again. I love Rat. I thought Rat was one of the top like hair metal bands because their music was just awesome, and their songs, and there's so many of them. There's so many of them.
Right there, you named more than 5 bands, though. So, I mean, you really have to look at how difficult of a task you gave me.
I know. I'm not going to give you any more tasks tonight. The point is, you're here to have fun with me, and I'm not going to do that to you anymore. So, you know what? Show's all yours. We're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about. You wanted to talk about the new Dokken, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about the new Dokken right after this track because it was so cool that Eddie named Leatherwolf in his top 5 of metal bands. And if you ain't familiar with Leatherwolf, well, where you been? You're not really a metalhead.
Get with it.
Get with it, man. Anyway, if you never heard them before and you do know them, then you'll love this song. If you never heard them before, you'll still love this song. So check them out if you never heard of Leatherwolf before. This is their title track off their second album, Street Ready. Leatherwolf on the Shakeman Show on Aquanet Radio. Good choice, Ed.